Hey everyone, it's me again, Shikha from Technical Cloud Knowledge, and I greet you from the world of Technical Cloud Knowledge. So, I'm back with another lecture on Linux, and this one is the lecture number 35 of our Linux series. So, as you can see, as I've already written on my screen, that this is the storage management topic which we will going to cover, and under this, we will going to cover the part 3. So I already discussed with you on the first lecture of storage management that under this topic there are many lectures will come. Okay, so that's why this is the part 3 of storage management. Basically today's lecture is mostly on the lab. Okay, so we will only focus on the lab on today's lecture. So let's discuss the lecture and then we'll do the further discussion. So one more thing which I would like to tell you, that if you do remember that on our last lecture, which is the lecture number 34, so in our last lecture we have covered that how we can do the mounting in a temporary way. We have done with the partitions, how to add a hard drive on the system and how to do the partitions, as well as we have also discussed regarding the MPR partition method as well as the GPT partition method. Okay, so we have covered all these things on our last lecture, but today's lecture is basically different from the above different previous lecture. In today's lecture we're going to do the lab, how we can do the mounting in a permanent way. Okay, so today we're going to cover this. So for that I recommend you all to watch the entire video in order to avoid missing any vital information regarding the mounting process as well as regarding the storage management. Okay, so let's open the VMware workstation for the lab of storage management. Let's maximize the screen. So simply I'm going to execute the command lsblk, because if you do remember that I have discussed with you that how you can add any hard drive on your system. Okay, so if you want to check how we can add, you need to watch my previous lecture, and we have also done with the partition. So today we'll first see that how we can do the mounting process in a temporary way. Okay, so to do the mounting process, if we create any hard drive or if we set up any hard drive or create any partition, first we need to do the formatting. Okay, so first we need to format these partitions with any of the file system. So I'm going to format my SDB1 partition with the ext2 file system. So how we will going to do the format? As you know, mkfs.ext2, this file system I would like to assign for my partition 1, which is SDB1. Okay, so simply we are done with the file system. You can check under blk id by executing this command. You can check it here. Okay, so as you can see, as I already discussed, that wherever does uuid word is written, which means it has the file system has been assigned to this partition. But the other, as you can see, sdb2 3 5 6, these are not assigned with the file system, and here are written part uuid, which means these are being remaining with the file system. So we need to provide some file system to these partitions too. Okay, so that's why you can provide the file system, that's how you can format the partition. So as you can see, there is a numbering, there is a mistake in numbering 1 2 3 and 5 6. Do not get confused regarding these, because the fourth partition, which is our extended partition, that's why it is not referring here. Okay, so now we're going to format the file system to sdb2 partition. Okay, here I'm also going to provide ext2 file system to my second partition. Similarly, execute blk id command. Here you can see. Okay, so it has also get file system. Now we're going to assign 3 5th and the 6th, these three file systems. Okay, to these three partitions we're going to assign a file system. I'm going to provide ext3 file system to my third partition, which is sdb3. Okay, blk id execute. See, we are able to assign the partition file system to this partition as well. Now we are going to assign file system to the sdb5 partition. I'm going to provide file system ext4 to my fifth partition, which is sdb to my fourth partition, but it is referring here sdb fifth. Okay. Similarly, we will also going to provide ext4 partition file system to our sdb6 partition. Okay. So now execute blk id command. Here you can see you are able to assign all the file systems to all of them partitions. Okay, that's how we are able to format these partitions with the file system. Now after that, now it's time to do the mounting, but we are now first we will going to do the mounting in a temporary way. After that we will see how we can do the mounting in a permanent way. Okay. So let's do the mounting to SDB1 partition in a temporary way. So first we need to create a directory. I'm creating a directory called mkdir India, and I'm mounting my first partition to this directory. You need to execute this command. After that, write your directory name. So as you can see now, if you execute lsblk command, here you can see your first partition has been mounted to India, but it is in a temporary way. If you want to do it in a permanent way, you need to come under a file called vim etc fs tab. You need to come under a file called fs tab, which is come under etc directory. And we all know that if we want to come under any file, if you want to do the entry or exiting, if you want to do anything under any file, we need to execute the command vim. Okay. So here we are able to come under this file. Okay. So just do the enter. So first let me tell you regarding this file. What does this file referring and what are the fields here are referring? Okay. So let me tell you under fs step 5, the first field, as you can see, this refer to the first field. Okay. So this first field refer to the name of your partition, or you can write UUID of your partition. Okay. So the first field is refer to the name of the partition. After that, the second field, here second field is blank. So your second field is referring to the mounting point, where you have whatever be the designated you have assigned to your partition. Suppose if I have created my first partition and the designated destination which I have provided to my first partition is India directory, so here you need to write the mount point which is for my first partition, which is India directory. The third field is referred to your file system. Whatever be the file system you have assigned to your partition, here you need to write this. Okay. If you have assigned ext2 partition file system, ext3 file system, xfs, and anything else. Okay. So now let's move to the fourth field. What does this field refer? So here as you can see, defaults is written. So what does this mean? Basically defaults is being referred to the permission. Whatever be your operating system assign permission to your partition, it will refer to default. Okay, so by default whatever be the operating system assign permission, it will take these permission. You can even mention your own permission if you want to, if you want to add, or if you want to give any permission to your partition, you can do that as well. Okay, it's up to you. Or if you want to do by default, it will take the permission whatever be your operating system assigned. So here in the fourth field you need to write defaults. So now let's move to the fifth field. What does the fifth field is referring here? So fifth field is referred to the backup. If you want to take the backup of your partition. Okay, so fifth field is referred to the backup. Here 0 is written. 0 means no backup, but if you write here 1, which means one backup will be taken of your files of your partition. Okay, whatever be the data is come under your partition, it will take the backup of your partition. The sixth field, what does the sixth field is referring here? So the last field, sixth, the sixth field is referring here for the file system check. If you want to check your file system, okay, suppose I have created a file, I have created a partition, and by mistake I have written different file system, I have assigned different file system to my partition. Suppose my partition is created sdb1 and I have assigned the file system ext2 to my sdb1 partition, but by mistake when I was doing the entry on the fstep file, by mistake I have written there something else. So it will check this. So sixth field is referring for the check file system. It will check the file system. Okay, so this is the fields which is come under fstep file. Now let's understand how we can do the entry of our partitions under the fstep file. So to do the entry, first you need to write your partition name. So as we all know, our partition name is sdb1, which is come under dev directory. So now let's move to the second field. So our second field is referring to the mount point, and we all know we have mounted our first partition with India directory. Okay, now let's move to the third field. Third field is referred to the file system, and we all know we have assigned ext2 file system to our partition 1. Fourth field is referred to the defaults. I'm here writing defaults permission. Okay, so whatever be the operating system assign permission to my first partition, it will take these permissions. Now let's move to the fifth field. We will going to write here 0 and 0 because we do not want that to take any backup, or if you want to, I don't want to take any backup, or I don't want that my file system should be checked by the fstep file. So that's why I'm here referring zeros. Okay, if you want to write something else, you can do that as well. It's up to you, whatever be the value you want to set here. Okay, now let's simply save this file so that your changes will get saved. So we are able to save our changes. After that, you just need to refresh it, mount hyphen a. Okay, you can execute mount hyphen a as well as you can reboot your machine. So I'm not rebooting my machine, I'm just executing the command mount hyphen a. And after that, let's check df hyphen h. See, we are able to mount up permanently. So that's how we can do the mounting process in a permanent way. Similarly, we're going to do with the other partitions too. Okay, sdb2, 3, 5th and the 6th one. If you want to do the temporary as well as the permanent, you can do the both one. But if you just want to do the permanent mounting, you can simply come under fstep file and do the entry. Okay, so we will simply come under fstep file and we're going to do the entry of our other remaining partitions. Let's open another terminal, and here we will going to check their file system as well. Okay, so that we will not able to by mistake write other different file system. Okay, so now we will going to do the entry of sdb to partition. But first we need to mount up them. Okay, let's create a directory for them. Suppose I'm creating a directory laptop. Okay, just create a directory. We will going to mounting in a permanent way simply here in the under the fstep file. Just create directory for them as well. Okay, so that you do have a directory at least, because there is something to mount up with. Okay, so let's see, sdb2 partition file system is ext2. Okay, now we're going to do the entry of second partition. So I'm here referring directory laptop to my second partition, and the file system ext2 defaults 0 0. Okay, now to the third partition entry. I have ext3 Similarly to the entry of last partition. Okay, you can check from here as well. Okay, so we are good to go. Now just save the changes. Simply refresh. Now execute df-h. See, we are able to mount up each and every partition with some of the mounting point or the directory. Okay, so that's how we can do the permanent mounting process. So I hope you are clear with that much how we can do the mounting process in a temporary as well as in a permanent. Okay, now let's move ahead with the storage management topic. So now we're going to do how we can remove a partition. So as we all know how we were removing the partition, we will going under the hard drive, and here we are just removing the partitions. Delete, and whatever be the partition you want to delete. Suppose I want to delete the 6 partition, so I'm here referring number 6, or it will by default take the 6 number. So see what is showing in front of us. It is showing that partition 6 has been deleted, but in actual it is not has been deleted. If you save these changes and come under, it will show. See what the output you are getting. So it is showing failed to remove partition 6 from system device or resource busy, because it is still running in somewhere. So as we have done the permanent mounting, we have done its permanent setting, that's why it is failed to remove. If we want to remove this partition, we need to unmount this partition. So for that you need to execute the command umount dev sdb6. Okay, run lsblk command. See, okay, your partition has been removed, your partition has been unmounted. Now we can simply remove it, but first we will going to come under etc fstab file, and we will also going to remove it from here as well, so that we will able to remove. Okay, just remove its entry, save changes. Now you are easily able to remove this partition. Okay, mount hyphen a, refresh it, df hyphen h. See, the partition has been deleted, but when we have unmounted this partition, just the mounting point has been removed. We are not able to delete the partition, but now after done after we have done the entry under fstab file and we have removed the partition, it has been removed it permanently. Okay, so that's how we can remove any partition. Similarly, we're going to remove the other partition, sdb 1 2 3 and 5th as well. Okay, okay, similarly we will going to remove these partitions. So first we will going to unmount all of these partitions. Unmount dev sdb 2, sdb 3, fifth, and the first one is this. Okay, now execute lsblk command. It has been unmounted. Okay, so now we're going to permanently delete these partitions. So first you need to come under fstab file. Okay, here you just need to remove these entries. Save the changes, refresh your terminal, execute df-h. See, your partition has been deleted. And when you come under fdisk dev sdb hard drive, print, just remove these partitions from. Now you can easily able to remove these partitions. Okay, save changes. See, we are able to delete all the partitions. So that's how we are able to delete the partitions permanently as well as in a temporary mode. Okay, so now suppose if you do not want to create any partitions, you want that your hard drive should be formatted with any of the file system. If you want that, you don't want to create any partitions to your hard drives, you want that your hard drive is being formatted with any of the file system. Okay, you just want to use your hard drive instead of you creating any partition. So how we can format our hard drive itself? So to formatting our hard drive, we need to execute the command mkfs, and whatever be the file system you want to assign to your hard drive itself, here you need to write it. So I'm going to assigning file system ext2 to my hard drive and the hard drive name sd. Okay, simply. Now it is asking for you want to do, like if you want to proceed with the process, if you want to provide any file system to your hard drive, it is asking for the confirmation. You just need to execute bar. Okay, so your hard drive has been formatted. Run lsplk command. Okay, see. Okay, now what we will going to do here, we will going to mount our hard drive to any of the directory. First we will also going to ask the kernel that we have made changes with our hard drive, we have provided a file system to our hard drive. Okay, now again run lsblt command. Okay, so now we will going to create a directory for our hard drive. I'm creating a directory called cloud. Okay, so we are able to create this directory. Now we will easily able to mount our hard drive itself with any of the hard directory or the whatever be the application you have created. So I'm going to mount my hard drive with the cloud directory. So let's come under fstep file, we will going to mount up permanently. Okay, just do the entry here, mount point, file system, defaults, permission 0 0, save changes, just refresh it once. By mistake maybe I have done some. Sorry, it should be DE. By mistake I've done this DE dev. Save changes. Okay. Again refresh it. So now when you execute df-h, you can see your hard drive has been mounted with the cloud directory. So now whatever be the data will come under cloud directory, it will save or it will store under your hard drive itself. Okay, we haven't created any partition to our hard drive SD. So I hope you are clear with that much. Let me tell you one more thing which is as important as this permanent setting, how we can do the permanent mounting. So when you will come under step 5, here you can see some changes. As you can see in this first option, we are able to see UUID instead of the name of the hard drive or the partition. So why does it here, like what does this UUID is being written here? So let me tell you, as I've already shared, that under the first field you can write the name of the drive or your partition. Even you can or even you can write the UUID. So here we can also write the UUID of this hard drive SDB. Okay, so if you write the UUID, it is similarly do its work. There is nothing wrong, or there is nothing will gonna affect your mounting process. Okay, so basically here UUID is being referred for the protection for the security purpose. Mostly in the industries they do write or they do save changes with the UUID, or they do mount up their hard drive or the partition with a UUID for the security reason. Because if someone unmount this hard drive or the partition, after that they will mount up again with some of the other directories, so their UUID will get changed. So that's how the industries will get the proof. Okay, if there any changes has been happened with the hard drive or the partition. So that's why UUID is being written here for the security purpose. Now let's understand how we can check its UUID of our hard drive. Just execute the blk id command in other tab. So here you can see. Okay, so this drive has this UUID. So we will gonna simply copy this UUID from here to this and paste it here. Okay, simple. Just save the changes. Refresh it once. See. Okay, so that's how we can do the mounting process in a permanent way. Okay, by UUID, or if you want to do it by the name of the hard drive or the partition. So basically this is the lecture, and this is the lab of mounting in a permanent way. So I hope you found this video helpful, and for more updates and for more videos on Linux, you need to stay tuned with me as well as with our channel Technical Cloud Knowledge. And thanks for watching.